Hi all, welcome to week 3. So this week will be all about writing your literacy narrative. Last week you came up with some ideas for what you could write about for your narrative. You saw the instructions for that, and you discussed it and got feedback from your peers. So this week what you will do is you will actually see some samples of what I'm expecting. So you'll look over the 2 samples that I gave you last week and write about them a little bit. You will also outline and then eventually draft your literacy narratives, which will be due on Friday. That's Friday, right? Yes. And once you're done with those, I'll go through and give you guys feedback on those, and then by next week I should have some feedback for you. Finally, at the end, you will do your personal research, which is getting you ready for the research papers that you'll work on next. So first of all, the literacy narrative sample quiz. What you're going to do for this, you are going to read over these 2 literacy narrative samples. This one by Joe and this one by Jill. They're about 4,000 words altogether or something. Yours aren't going to be nearly as long. Yours only have to be 500 to 750 words. So for each of those 2 samples, read over them and answer the following questions. What was the problem in this story? And who did the author go to for help? For this one, you will again write your answers into a Google document and submit them the same way that you did last week with for week 1 with the grammar examples that you had. So you'll submit a Google Doc link with your version history intact, your shared so that anyone with the link can edit it, and you will also submit a PDF. Next, after you take that quiz, you will go to the outline, and you're going to take whichever one of the examples you did during the brainstorming activity that you liked the most, and you're going to start off with a very simple outline and then flesh that out and add as many details as you can. So what I've done is I've taken one of the examples that we had, and I created a very short outline here that covers the basic steps of that written assignment. For most of these papers, you're going to find the same 5 parts that you would expect this story to be in. An introduction, first of all, that sets up your scene and characters and explains who the important people are. A description of the complications, so this will be where you show what went wrong that made this a difficult problem to face. Maybe a time when you struggle with writing or something like that. Evaluation of the complication. This is where you make a plan and figure out how you're going to get over this problem. Resolution. This is where you solve your problem and have good things happen to you. Maybe you have a game where you score 3 touchdowns. Maybe you have a essay that you work really hard on and you turn it in and your professor gives you an A. And then finally, what you learned. This is where you show how this affects your life outside of just school. So did this give you more confidence going into other situations? Did it teach you that you're as good as other people on this skill that you're talking about? Whatever. So first off, you'll start with a very brief outline like the one that I have here. And then you'll go in and you will add as many details as you can think of to that outline to flesh it out as much as you can. The more details you think of, the easier time you'll have writing your actual paper. Once you have this outline complete, then you will move on to your drafting portion. And for this part, this is just the same what do I call this? I'm having a blank moment here. This is the same outline for the paper that I posted before, the same instruction sheet that I posted before. Instruction sheet was the word I was looking for. And so what you can do is use the same document that you did for the outline and just turn those 5 parts that you came up with into a completed essay. You can also, if you want to, start a new Google Doc and start from scratch and just use the outline as a place to start from. Either way is fine. But make sure that you get to at least 500 words. Make sure that you double space your writing. You tell a complete story with a beginning, middle, and end. If you have a lot of repeated spelling, grammar, or mechanics mistakes, that could cost you up to 30 points. If everyone who turns in a complete draft that doesn't try to cheat or anything like that will be able to rewrite it for a higher grade next week. Obviously, do not use AI for this. It won't really be able to do a very good job anyway, because this story is about you, and it's telling a story about your life. So review all of these expectations that I have, and then go ahead and write your essay to the best of your abilities. Turn that in by Friday, the same way that we did the other ones. And I will go through it and I will give you guys feedback over the weekend. I'll post a feedback video sometime next week covering the main things that people needed to work on. And I will give you individually feedback on the PDF that you post on Blackboard. And you'll have an opportunity to rewrite it for a higher grade. Okay. And then your personal research assignment here. This is something to do by Sunday. And basically what this is it is talking about a type of research that you had to do outside of school. So this could be finding a hotel that you wanted to go on vacation at. It could be figuring out which job to do. It could be figuring out where to go to college, anything like that. You'll just answer these questions and post your answer here, talking about that piece of research that you had to do. I give you an example in this video where I talk about a car I had to buy. So that's a perfectly good subject for this one. All right, guys, a lot of writing this week, but you don't have a discussion board. So at least you don't have to do that. All right, good luck, guys. I will give you guys feedback as soon as I can, and then you will have a week to do your rewrites. See you guys next week.